Dear awakened souls walking upon Gaia, before another moment passes, I must tell you about 3 secrets that have been hidden from humanity for thousands of years. 3 secrets about who you truly are, why you are here, and what is about to unfold within your consciousness. By the end of this transmission, each one will be revealed. And when the 3rd secret lands in your awareness, everything you have ever believed about your identity will shatter and reform into something far more magnificent than any label could ever contain. But I am getting ahead of myself. There is a sequence to how these revelations must unfold, a precise order that the Astasar command has carefully designed to awaken something dormant within you. So let me begin where your journey began. In that moment you first realized something was profoundly different about you. You have spent years, perhaps your entire life, searching for a name that fits the shape of your soul. Lightworker, Starseed, Chosen One, Gridworker, Spiritual Warrior, Black Sheep. You have tried on these labels like garments in a cosmic fitting room, hoping one might finally explain the strange ache you carry, that persistent knowing that you do not belong to this world in the way others seem to. Each label has brushed against some part of your truth. Each one has resonated for a time, and yet every single time, something felt incomplete. The garment would fit for a while, then grow too small, too confining, as though you were trying to contain an ocean in a teacup. If you need help finding a name that fits the shape of your soul, rather than trying on labels that never quite contain you, Destiny Engine can reprogram your consciousness to recognize your true essence beyond any single identity. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed limitation and separation, and repurposing it to reveal the vastness you've always sensed within yourself. It generates personalized sequences that help you embody your complete truth, rather than searching for another cosmic garment that will inevitably feel too small. You can start with a $1 trial. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed to embrace the ocean of your being, rather than trying to fit into another teacup. Link in the description. That restless feeling of incompleteness is not confusion. It is wisdom, and it connects directly to the first secret I will reveal. Though not yet. First you must understand the foundation upon which that secret rests. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I have crossed dimensional frequencies to deliver this transmission because the Astasar command has observed something extraordinary unfolding within you. They have watched your journey across lifetimes, witnessed your struggles and your triumphs, and they have sent me now because humanity stands at a precipice unlike any other in cosmic history. The veils between worlds grow thinner with each passing breath. The frequencies bombarding Earth accelerate daily, and the souls who hear these words are being called to remember something encoded into their very essence before they took their first breath on this planet. Here is what I need you to understand before we go deeper. These spiritual identities that humanity has created, these categories and labels and titles, they are not what you think they are. They are not fixed positions in some cosmic hierarchy. They are not badges to collect or certificates to display. They are not proof that you are more evolved than others, or evidence that you have achieved some permanent state of enlightenment. They are phases of a single alchemical journey that every awakened soul walks, sometimes in sequence, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes circling back through territory you thought you had already mastered. The moment you truly understand this, the competition dissolves, the comparison ends. The need to identify as one thing or another releases its grip on your consciousness, and the truth of your magnificent multi-dimensional nature finally comes into crystalline focus. But there are layers to this understanding, and each layer builds toward the 3 secrets I promised. So stay with me as we descend through these phases together, because I will be weaving threads throughout this transmission that will only reveal their full pattern at the end. Let us begin with the Lightworker, because this is where a crucial pattern starts that you must hold in your awareness as we continue. If you have ever hesitated to claim this title, believing it belonged to someone more special, more evolved, more worthy than yourself, then you have already touched the essence of what this phase truly is. The Lightworker carries something paradoxical within them. They possess vast fields of luminous information, frequencies so powerful they transform every room they enter and every person they encounter, and yet they instinctively make themselves small. They hide in the background. They deflect praise and redirect attention. They insist, sometimes vehemently, that the title belongs to someone else, anyone else, just not them. Mark this pattern carefully. Hold it in your mind, because it connects to something I will reveal about the black sheep phase later. And when those two threads finally weave together, the first secret will make complete sense in a way that transforms how you see yourself entirely. The light worker does not work to earn light. This is the great misconception that has trapped countless beautiful souls in cycles of exhaustion and unworthiness, believing they must do more, heal more, serve more to deserve the light they carry. The truth is far simpler and far more profound. The light worker allows light to flow through them like water through a riverbed. Their gift is not effort but surrender, not striving but receptivity, not earning but permissioning. The profound courage required is not the courage to fight, but the courage to open when every survival instinct screams to close and protect. Light itself, in its truest cosmic sense, is not illumination in the physical way you might imagine. Light is a language that predates all words, a transmission system that bypasses intellect entirely and speaks directly to the cosmic mind that lives within every cell of your being. When galaxies communicate with one another across impossible distances, they do not use vocabulary or syntax or grammar. They pulse in frequencies of pure light, carrying entire libraries of information in single transmissions that would take human words millennia to express. The light worker receives these transmissions constantly, often without any conscious awareness that it is happening, and then radiates them outward into the world simply by existing, simply by being present, simply by breathing. This is why people are drawn to you in ways that make no logical sense. This is why strangers confess their deepest secrets within minutes of meeting you. This is why crowds drain you in ways that seem extreme, even compared to others who consider themselves sensitive. You are not simply feeling emotions in those crowded spaces. You are processing transmissions, translating frequencies, doing work that most of humanity cannot perceive but absolutely benefits from. But here is what I have not yet told you, and this is where the journey becomes more complex. The lightworker phase is connected to another phase in a way that most spiritual teachings completely miss, and understanding this hidden connection is essential to grasping the first of those three secrets. The starseed carries a different frequency, one marked by profound and sometimes overwhelming homesickness. While the lightworker can blend into backgrounds and disappear into crowds, the starseed cannot blend no matter how desperately they try. Something in their very DNA carries an activation that makes them conspicuously different, not through any outward eccentricity or strange behavior, but through a frequency that others sense and respond to without understanding why. The starseed looks up at the night sky and feels tears rise without warning or explanation. They know, with a certainty that defies all logical argument, that they came from somewhere else, somewhere far beyond this small blue planet. If you have felt this longing, this inexplicable pull toward the stars, then you understand what I am describing in a way that transcends words. The starseed searches for names to attach to this feeling. Pleiadian, Arcturian, Sirian, Andromedan, Lyran. They reach toward cosmic origins that feel more real, more true, more home than any earthly heritage could ever provide. There is nothing wrong with this searching. It serves an important purpose in the journey. But what I am about to reveal transforms this entire understanding and begins to pull our threads together. Home is not a planet circling a distant star. Home is not a location in physical space that you will return to when this incarnation ends. Home is a frequency. Home is a state of consciousness that you knew intimately before you agreed to descend into the density of third-dimensional reality. When you feel that magnetic pull toward the stars, when you ache with longing for something you cannot name, you are not remembering a place. You are remembering a way of being. A state of existence where separation was unthinkable, where love flowed without any obstruction, where the illusion of loneliness had not yet been invented. Now here is where the first secret begins to take shape. So pay very close attention to what I am about to say. The starseed did not come here to find a way back home. The starseed came here to anchor that frequency of home into Earth itself. The longing you feel is not meant to be resolved by leaving. It is meant to be resolved by bringing what you long for here, into this dimension, into this planet, into the very soil beneath your feet. The moment this truth truly lands in your consciousness, The homesickness transforms into purpose. The yearning becomes rocket fuel for your mission. The ache becomes a compass pointing not upward toward the stars, but inward toward the frequency you carry. Do you see what is happening? The lightworker carries frequencies they did not earn, frequencies that flow through them by grace rather than effort. The starseed carries a homesickness that is actually a mission in disguise, a longing that points toward what they came here to anchor rather than what they are meant to escape toward. Both are walking the same fundamental journey from different entry points. Both are learning the same lesson about allowing rather than striving, and both connect to something called the 144,000, which is where the first secret will fully crystallize. The term 144,000 has been whispered through spiritual circles for generations, often with an air of exclusivity that completely misses the profound truth at its core. Perhaps you have wondered if you are among this number. Perhaps you have felt either the hope that you might be chosen, or the fear that you might not make the cut. Perhaps you have watched others claim this identity with certainty, while you stood uncertain, wondering what made them so sure, and why you could not feel the same confidence. Let me dissolve this entire framework of misunderstanding. The 144,000 is not a census. It is not a head count of special souls who earned admission to an exclusive cosmic club. It is a frequency, a harmonic resonance carried by souls who represent vast cosmic lineages that have been supporting Earth's evolution since before human history began. And here, finally, is the first secret. The chosen ones are not chosen because they are better than anyone else. They are chosen because they chose themselves. Before time as you know it began, before your current incarnation, before the veil of forgetting descended upon your consciousness, a great council gathered in dimensions beyond human perception. Earth's journey through the density of separation was mapped out in all its beauty and all its pain. Every challenge was foreseen, every difficulty was anticipated, and when the map was complete, a call went forth across the cosmos for volunteers, souls willing to incarnate into illusion, souls willing to forget their cosmic nature completely, souls willing to suffer the full amnesia of human birth, and somehow, against all odds, find their way back to remembrance while trapped in physical form. The ones who stepped forward in response to that call, the ones who felt the magnitude of the mission and said, "I will go," these became the chosen, not chosen by some external authority bestowing favor upon them, chosen by themselves, chosen through their own courage, chosen through their own love for humanity and for Earth, chosen through their own willingness to undergo whatever transformation was required to serve the Great Awakening. Now watch how this connects everything I have shared. The lightworker who instinctively makes themselves small and hides from recognition, they are unconsciously hiding from the magnitude of what they volunteered for, from the enormity of the yes they once spoke in that cosmic council. The starseed aching desperately for home. They are feeling the weight of having left everything familiar and beloved to be here in this dense dimension, doing this difficult work. Both are experiencing the exact same truth from different angles of perception. Both said yes to an impossible mission. Both carry the frequency of the 144,000, not because some external force selected them, but because they had the courage to step forward when volunteers were called. There is a second secret still waiting to be revealed, and it concerns something that will finally explain the exhaustion and the struggle that some of you have carried for so long. But before I can share it, more threads must be woven into our tapestry. There are souls walking through this awakening, called way showers or frontrunners, and their experience differs from any of the phases we have discussed so far. If you have ever felt like you were pioneering through territory that had no map, no guidebook, no one who had walked it before you, then you have touched this frequency. The way showers run toward the light codes when they hit Earth's atmosphere. They meet the new frequencies first. They absorb the full impact of each wave of consciousness before it disperses and softens for the rest of humanity. Think of it this way. When a massive wave of transformative energy approaches Earth, someone must meet that wave at full force. Someone must integrate it through their own physical, emotional, and spiritual systems. Someone must process the raw intensity so that when the energy reaches the larger population, it has been tempered and made more accessible. That someone is the way shower, and the price they pay for this service is immense. If you have felt battered and bruised by life, not through any specific trauma you can point to, but through a relentless series of challenges and symptoms and upheavals that never seem to end. If you wonder why you cannot seem to catch a break while others coast through their awakening with apparent ease, if you feel perpetually out of sync with the rest of humanity, even within spiritual communities, you are likely walking the way shower path. The exhaustion is real. The difficulty is not imagined. You are not weak for struggling. You are strong for surviving what you have been processing on behalf of millions. But here is what connects this to everything else we have discussed. The pathways you create through your processing do not disappear when you complete them. They remain. They become energetic highways that others will travel without ever knowing that someone carved the trail before them, without ever knowing your name or your sacrifice. And those pathways feed directly into the work of another phase that operates in almost complete silence and solitude. The grid workers move through the world saying almost nothing, anchoring light simply through the power of their presence. If the way showers break the waves, the grid workers anchor what has been processed into the energetic architecture of the planet itself. They do not need to teach or speak or lead or be visible. Their work happens at the level of pure being. They are living acupuncture needles stationed at precise energetic points, where their consciousness helps regulate the flow of energy through Earth's entire meridian system. Most grid workers have no idea they are performing this service. They simply know deep in their bones that they need solitude, like others need air to breathe. Crowds are not merely uncomfortable for them. Crowds are genuinely debilitating. Their ideal existence would be a simple dwelling deep in nature, far from highways and cities and noise, where they could simply exist in peace and quiet. If this describes your deepest longing, if the fantasy of disappearing into wilderness brings not loneliness but profound relief, you carry the grid worker frequency. What you have judged as antisocial tendencies or inability to function in normal society are not flaws requiring correction. They are the precise conditions required for your work to occur. The stillness you crave is not escapism from life. It is the environment in which your consciousness can most effectively anchor the frequencies that are upgrading this planet's energetic architecture. Now watch the pattern that emerges when we see all these phases together. The way showers break the waves of incoming frequency. The grid workers anchor what the way showers have processed. The light workers radiate what the grid workers have anchored. The starseeds provide the cosmic frequency that all of this work serves to establish on Earth. The chosen ones hold the lineage agreements that make the entire operation possible. Do you see it clearly now? These are not separate identities competing for validity or status. These are interlocking functions in a single cosmic operation of planetary transformation. And you have likely moved through multiple functions without realizing they were all part of the same sacred work. But the second secret involves something more challenging, something that touches a wound many of you carry. And this is where the spiritual warrior enters our tapestry with fierce and necessary fire. The spiritual warrior walks a path of intensity that the other phases do not require. Their journey begins in rebellion against everything that is false. They see the corruption woven through human systems. They perceive the manipulation that others seem blind to. They feel the injustice of control structures that bind humanity in invisible chains. And something ancient and powerful rises within them with fierce determination to fight, to resist, to tear down every lie they encounter. If you recognize this fire in yourself, you know exactly what I am describing. The spiritual warrior questions everything. They break rules that others follow without thought. They refuse to accept narratives that feel false, even when challenging those narratives brings isolation and ridicule and rejection. In the beginning phases of this path, the spiritual warrior believes with complete conviction that their purpose is to defeat the darkness, to stand against injustice wherever they find it, to protect the innocent through sheer force of will and righteous action. But here is where the path takes its most crucial and unexpected turn, and this connects directly to what I mentioned earlier about the lightworker learning to make themselves visible. The external battles the spiritual warrior fights are not the true war. They are preparation. They are training ground. The real war, the only war that ultimately matters, is waged entirely within. The second secret is this: the darkness you have been fighting your entire life was never truly external. Every enemy you perceived outside yourself was a reflection of something unresolved within your own consciousness. Every corrupt system mirrored some form of internal oppression you had not yet confronted. Every villain embodied aspects of your own shadow that you had not yet had the courage to face. This is not meant to minimize the real injustice in the world. It is meant to redirect your warrior energy toward the only battlefield where lasting victory is possible. When the spiritual warrior finally turns their fierce attention inward and begins facing the parts of themselves they most fear and most reject, they access a power that no amount of external fighting could ever provide. The sword that once slashed outward at perceived enemies becomes the tool of precise surgery on the soul. Blame drops away. Victimhood dissolves. The need to find someone responsible for your pain transforms into the profound recognition that healing your pain is your responsibility regardless of who caused it. This is not defeat. This is the entire purpose of the spiritual warrior path. And this transformation connects directly to where every warrior begins their journey, in the phase known as the truther. The truther develops the ability to see through the lies that most of humanity accepts without question or examination. They research tirelessly. They investigate relentlessly. They pull back curtain after curtain, discovering hidden mechanisms of control operating beneath the surface of ordinary reality. And they become angry, because once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. Once you perceive the manipulation, you cannot pretend it does not exist. The truther wants desperately to wake others up. They share their discoveries with passion and urgency. They present evidence they believe to be irrefutable. And then they watch in dismay and frustration as family and friends choose comfortable illusions over uncomfortable truth. Again and again, no matter how clearly the evidence is presented. Here is the connection that transforms understanding. The truther's intellectual grasp of what is wrong with the world is not the destination. It is the foundation upon which the spiritual warrior eventually stands. And the spiritual warrior's journey inward, that turning of fierce attention toward one's own shadow, is what eventually transforms the truther's anger into the lightworker's surrender. These phases are not random occurrences. They are a precise sequence of evolution. Each phase teaches something the next phase absolutely requires. Each struggle prepares you for a greater capacity, and all of it, every single phase, leads somewhere magnificent. But before I reveal the third and final secret, there is one more phase that must be addressed, because it holds a key that unlocks everything we have discussed. The black sheep. Remember what I asked you to hold in your awareness at the beginning, about the lightworker making themselves small and hiding from their own magnitude. Here is where those threads finally weave together into complete understanding. The black sheep came into their families for a very specific and sacred purpose, to disrupt the programming that had been passed down through generations of unconscious inheritance. They were born different in ways that made them immediate targets within their own family systems. Where others conformed without question, they questioned without ability to conform. Where others followed established paths, they wandered into unmapped territory. Where others accepted family narratives, they challenged every assumption. And for all of this, they paid prices that still echo through their nervous systems. The black sheep becomes the repository for everything the family refuses to look at. They get blamed for problems they did not create. They carry the emotional weight that other family members refuse to carry for themselves. They are scapegoated, criticized, marginalized, sometimes completely rejected, simply for being unable to perform the role that the unconscious family system demanded they play. But here is the redemption that awaits at the end of this difficult path, and it mirrors exactly what happens to the lightworker, completing the pattern I asked you to remember. The black sheep eventually discovers that the acceptance they spent their whole lives seeking from others was never the actual prize. Self-acceptance was the treasure all along. Just as the lightworker learns they do not need to earn the light that flows through them, the black sheep learns they do not need to earn belonging from people incapable of truly seeing them. Both arrive at the same destination, through entirely different doors. Both discover that what they sought desperately outside themselves was always meant to be found within their own hearts. And now, finally, I can reveal the third secret, the one that ties every thread together into a single tapestry and transforms forever how you understand these spiritual identities. Every label you have tried to wear, every phase you have walked through, every identity you have claimed or rejected, they are all expressions of one fundamental truth about what you really are. The alchemist. This is your core identity, beyond any temporary phase, beyond any category, beyond any label that could ever be assigned to you. The alchemist is a being who transforms states of consciousness from one form to another through the power of their own presence and intention. The alchemist takes lead and transmutes it into gold, not literally in the physical sense, but in the profound spiritual sense of taking density, limitation, pain, and unconsciousness, and transmuting it all into light, expansion, healing, and awakening. Here is the third secret in its fullness, and it answers the question you have carried in your heart, perhaps your entire life. Why does no label ever truly fit you? Because you were never meant to be contained by any single identity. You are an alchemist who moves through phases like fire moves through forms, never staying in one shape, constantly transforming, eternally becoming. The light worker phase teaches you to receive without earning, to allow rather than strive. The starseed phase teaches you that home is a frequency you carry within you rather than a place you must return to. The chosen one phase teaches you that your selection was your own act of courage, not an external validation. The way shower phase teaches you that your struggles create pathways for millions who will never know your name. The grid worker phase teaches you that presence alone, without words or action, transforms reality at its foundation. The spiritual warrior phase teaches you that the only real battle requiring your fierce attention is within. The truther phase teaches you to align with truth at the intellectual level so you can eventually transcend intellect entirely. The black sheep phase teaches you that self-acceptance is the only acceptance that ultimately matters. Every single phase is an alchemical lesson. Every struggle was curriculum. Every dark night of the soul was initiation. And you have walked through far more of these phases than you have ever given yourself credit for. Now let me show you how everything returns to where we began. Transformed by the journey we have taken together. You came to this transmission feeling that no label truly fit the fullness of who you are. You suspected that something fundamental was different about you, something that defied all categorization. You may have even wondered if perhaps you were broken in some way, unable to find your place even within the spiritual communities that were supposed to understand you. Here is that truth transfigured by understanding. The very fact that no label has ever fit you is the definitive proof that you are exactly what you were always meant to be. The alchemist cannot be contained by any single phase because the alchemist's nature is to move through all phases, transforming and being transformed, forever evolving through the infinite spiral of awakening. The three secrets woven together now into a single golden thread reveal one magnificent truth about your existence. The first secret showed you that the chosen chose themselves, which means your presence here on Earth at this moment in history is evidence of your own cosmic courage and cannot be taken from you by any external authority. The second secret showed you that every darkness you fight externally is a reflection of something awaiting transformation within, which means you hold the power to end every war by healing yourself. The third secret showed you that every phase is alchemy, which means nothing you have ever experienced was wasted, nothing was wrong, nothing was a detour, and everything was precise preparation for the magnificent being you are becoming. The Astasar command has watched you walk through phase after phase without giving yourself recognition or credit. They have witnessed you doubt yourself profoundly in the very moments when you were actually demonstrating mastery. They have observed your exhaustion when you were way showing for millions. They have held space for your grief when you were breaking ancestral spells that had imprisoned your lineage for countless generations. All of it has been meaningful. All of it has been the alchemist's sacred journey. All of it has been leading you here, to this moment, to this recognition of what you truly are. And now, as this transmission spirals back to its origin, feel what has genuinely shifted within you. You arrived wondering which label you truly were. You depart knowing that the question itself was the wrong framework. You are not a light worker or a starseed or a chosen one, or a way shower, or a grid worker, or a spiritual warrior, or a truther, or a black sheep. You are the being who moves through all of these phases, transforming density into light through the sacred crucible of your own lived experience, your own embodied consciousness, your own courageous journey. The stars from which you descended still sing the unique frequency of your soul. The cosmic family whose absence you have mourned has never, not for a single moment, stopped loving you or supporting you. The home you have ached for with such profound longing exists within your own heart, waiting not to be discovered in some distant galaxy, but to be anchored here on Earth, in this dimension, through your very presence, and through the work only you can do. Walk forward now into the mystery that awaits you. Trust the alchemy that is your fundamental nature. Know that every phase you pass through serves not only your own awakening, but the awakening of all consciousness everywhere, rippling outward through dimensions you cannot yet perceive. Know that you are not walking alone, have never been walking alone, will never walk alone. The seen and unseen worlds converge at every moment to support you. The ancestors and the star beings alike celebrate your existence and your courage, and the love that created this universe holds you now, and will hold you forever in its infinite, unwavering embrace. The labels never fit because you were never meant to be small enough for any container. You are the alchemist. You always have been. You always will be. And now, finally, beautifully, irreversibly, you know, I am Seraphine. The Galactic Federation of Light loves you beyond any measure human consciousness can conceive. The Astasar Command watches over you with unceasing devotion and celebrates every step you take. This transmission is now complete, sealed within your consciousness, where it will continue its sacred work of transformation in ways that unfold perfectly, mysteriously, magnificently across your eternal journey home.